Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome to a post-Minecraft live vlog reaction thing. Oh my goodness. Was I expecting all that stuff? Well, actually, yeah, I kind of was. It wouldn't be Minecraft Live if it wasn't for big announcements and things like that. But I've made some very quick notes here whilst I was watching it, so I thought I'd share with you my thoughts and also what I think about the various different things and what that also means for our community. Now, first of all, Caves and Cliffs update. A lot of people have been screaming out for the caves for a long time, and yes, I very much agree with you. Can I think of an update that would be better than that? Probably not. It sounds like Mojang really listened to the players here and found out what they want. Now, it should have been obvious. I think if you put a vote out there, that one would have almost certainly have won it. Have they nailed it in a way that I think has been good? Yeah, I was hoping for maybe some sort of kind of, you know, something a bit like along the lines of the Jungle Temple, like a new dungeony type thing, but with either traps or something you had to figure out, or maybe a maze, just something a bit bigger, something big in there. However, the things that they have announced are really quite cool. The Warden Mob looks epic in terms of its in terms of its abilities and its aesthetics. It looks so hard, and in the video, I think it took maybe 2, maybe 3 hits from that thing, and that player with netherite armor was completely pummeled, which was awesome. And speaking of mobs, let's just quickly whiz through all the other mobs that we've got confirmed. So the goat, nice to see goats. I think it's a good addition. Makes sense to have them up there on the cliffs, and I'm sure there's some interesting things and mechanics that can come out of that. And of course, there's the new mob that I wasn't quite sure on the pronunciation. It seemed like a couple of people were saying it in different ways, and I've written it down, and I can't remember what it is now. So, the pink one that was in water, I'm going to say that it's the Azatols? Can't remember. But they look cute. Yes, they look cute. Do they have much of a function? I think they're just going to end up in aquariums. Are people going to use them? I don't think so. And the final vote, spoiler alert, was won by Glow Squid, which, to be honest, I felt all 3 of them were okay candidates, but no one stood out for me. Maybe the Glow Squid is a worthy winner. It certainly would be nice to find out if there's some sort of mechanic or something that comes out of the glowiness of the squid, whether drops or something to make a new item, I don't know. But going back to the caves, the way that the caves looked, and I had a quick chat with the guys on the Viewer Plus Discord afterwards, and I think it was Brandon. Sorry if it wasn't you, Brandon, but it made a point that some of the caves look like almost like the way the Nether used to be generated, and I can see where some of that's coming from. But there was also different aspects of it, so they've obviously added new generation, new shapes, and all that. And it sounds there's different biomes over there. I heard lush caves being mentioned quite a few times. Deep dark being mentioned a couple of times. I'd be surprised if they're the only 2 biomes that we get out of that. I would have thought there would be at least 3 new ones. And then there's the Skulk block, the block that is sensitive to movement. Obviously, the mechanic of the Warden only not being able to see it, being a blind mob, I think that was really quite cool. How that can come into gameplay, I mean, obviously you have to sneak around and stuff. And you can also, I saw in the demo, there was throwing snowballs to make it go in a different direction. So there could be some really interesting things that come out of that as well, and I think it'd be really good for good fights. That was down in the deep dark, and the caves. Yeah, the caves all looked quite good, and then of course the stalactites and stalagmites in the caves. They look nice. The fact that I saw the zombie falling on it and dying and dropping the items in the stalactites. Which one was it? No, it was in the stalagmites, sorry. I know which way around they are, I just said it wrong. But it all was really quite good. And then the idea that we could potentially, I mean, not potentially have wireless redstone. I mean, with the Skulk block, it did seem like wireless redstone. And it is wireless redstone, but is it what I would call wireless redstone? Does it go very far? How dynamic is it? How useful is it? I bet there's some really good stuff that the redstone community will come out with there. And in the coming months, when they start releasing game updates and snapshots, I'll definitely be watching a few channels. I'll be keeping an eye on Nembom, Mango, Mumbo Jumbo, just to see if any of those people can come up with something really cool. Also in the caves, we got the crystals and shards for the telescope. Telescope with the zoom, brilliant feature. Love the idea of that. Sometimes I just want to be able to look further. The thing is though, is that another thing that I want to be able to carry around with me all the time, along with my rockets, along with my ender pills, along with my spare ender chest, my food, my rockets for flying with my elytra. There's a lot of things now that we have to carry around and want to hand. They did speak about the inventory, and I'll get around to that in a bit, but I've got a funny feeling, even though the telescope is a nice thing to have, it's probably going to get left behind in people's bases quite a lot. Could it be better? Could there be a way, maybe clip it onto your belt so it doesn't take up a slot? Maybe that would have been better. Copper been added into the game, the way that it turns green when you put it down and use it as part of a build, that's quite good, but what about if you want the copper look? Ideally, I'd like to see a mechanic that keeps it from going green. Whether you have to, I don't know, treat it in a cauldron. Like if you treat it in a cauldron with something, then it doesn't turn green or something. That'd be quite nice. And the fact that copper comes in veins, I like the sound of that. I'd like to know more about it, but if they're going to do that, I would prefer to see a change to the existing ore generation so it was the same. I want some consistency between the two. And the lightning rod, a nice little cool thing if you like making wooden roofs, to get rid of those lightning strikes. And to be honest, it could be really good for other things as well, like if you want lightning striking. Now I know we've got the trident these days where you can enchant it for lightning striking and stuff, but yeah, okay, so that's a nice little thing as well. I can see possibly more things coming around with the copper sort of thing. What else did we say? The archaeology side of things, and this is something that me and the guys spoke about as well. The dig sites and the artifacts, it seems like a nice little addition to the game, but that's all I see it as at the moment with what we've been showcased. It's a little addition. Yes, you can play around with it. Yes, you can do story things in it. But most people playing survival Minecraft, going out there, making their farms, gathering their items, doing big builds, I don't think it's going to be as attractive to those people. But there's lots of different sorts of Minecrafters out there, and I'm sure there's some people that would really appeal to. And also, there's going to be some people that are going to want to get the loot from that as well. And that is my ramblings based on my notes. The last thing to talk about is the inventory. When they said that, I wrote it down and I got excited. And then they announced one item that they think will solve everything. And whilst I don't get me wrong, I do like the bundle. I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's solving all the inventory issues, and they need something else as well. Either more hotbar, or some way to extend it, or some way to carry and be able to activate those extra items that most Minecraft players carry around a lot, especially on in the later game, like food. I mean, why can't I have a food pouch, or why can't I have an ender pearl pouch, or why can't I put rockets in a quiver or something like that? Or a quiver. You could put a quiver, you could have a quiver slot, so if you make a quiver, you can put your arrows in there. They're not taking up room in your inventory. But there we go, there's my ramblings. What did you think? Did you think my thoughts kind of align with your thoughts? What thoughts did you have that were different to mine? I'd love to know. But that's all from me for now. Take care and goodbye.